All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today as we are going to discuss the newest CSI solution, iMIS QuickPay. If you've attended any of our kind of webinars in the past, we do have a special present and gift for you at the end, so be sure to stick around there. If you do have any questions or anything like that, feel free to pop them in the Q&A. And if you want to just have some conversation, feel free to use the chat for that as well. I am JT Fiedler, and today I am joined by my favorite demo partner, Doug Morris, the founder and chief product officer, and Jake Berge, the principal software engineer here at CSI, who is the lead architect behind iMIS QuickPay. And we also have our wonderful support team here to help assist with any questions you have or anything along those lines. So with that, let's get started, Doug.
Okay, we want to be really respectful of your time. So you know how when you're on a plane and they say, if you're not planning to go to Omaha, now's a great time to get off the plane. And you're like, yikes, I was going to Orange County, not Omaha. And so you bolt off the plane. So we're going to give you a chance. We'd love to have you for the first next 25 minutes. But just in case, we're going to cover some things that you need to use iMIS QuickPay. So first off, iMIS QuickPay does require you to be on EMS Enterprise, and you have to be using iMIS Pay. So what you're probably like, well, what's iMIS Pay? Well, if you are using Pay Central, you have iMIS Pay. So in EMS, there are some other payment methods, but if you're using global payments, you will need to, you're all set. How's that? And we want to be just completely transparent. ASI has said this functionality, what we're going to show you today, is coming in iMIS this year. So if you're like, well, forget it, I'm out of here, that's totally fine. We're going to keep a close count on the participants. And if anybody drops off, that will hurt us, but we will be okay. So, all right, we've got one person says first box checked. Thanks, Francis. Appreciate you. Okay.
Doug, before we go on, I do have a poll question that I'll launch, just asking people kind of what they or why they joined us for today's webinar. So I want to gauge where people currently are and what we can look forward to. Looks like the majority of people have answered, and so I'll go ahead, share. Majority of people are looking or interested in that one-click payment solution and learning more. Some are just simply curious, and a good handful, 19%, are here for JT and Doug. All right. So Doug.
All right, let's keep going then, JT. All right, so let's just cover real quick what we're about to show you. QuickPay is so easy to use. Ultimately, you're going to create a link for every invoice in iMIS, right? And you're like, whoa, we're cash-based dues. Don't worry about it. You still have a invoice in there in iMIS in the business object. So it's a simple link, and we're actually going to help you create that link. In fact, Jake's done all the work for you, which is really awesome. But you're going to get that link. Isn't that awesome? Next, you're going to send that link out to your member or donor. Well, how do you want to do it? You can send it via email. Maybe you're using our text manager product, or maybe the donor's online right now and you're chatting with them and they say, well, I'd really like to pay my dues. You can drop that link right in the chat and they can pay it right there, single click. So boom, they click on the link. They enter their credit card information. It is credit card at this time only, not ACH. That's not on us. That's on ASI right now. But we hope ACH is coming. And then the minute they put, you are going to see that the payment is posted to iMIS instantly. So just like they put it in iMIS, and I do have my phone on Do Not Disturb. I want to point that out. It's just not working. So there we go. That's how easy it is. Now, a pretty version of that, let's cover that. It's a single click. Okay. You don't have to know your username and password. You don't have to even know the site you're going to. So your members and your donors, because they can pay pledge payments, can go ahead and just click one link. And from there, you could allow them to pay their dues, events, orders, whatever you want them to pay, it goes on that. And think about how quick this is, right? Since they don't have to remember usernames or passwords or anything like that, you're going to get your money instantly. But the best part, we're going to use iMIS's Pay Central SDK. That stands for Software Development Kit, okay? ASI has made this available where we're actually entering the payment using iMIS. You're not giving it to CSI. It's not, we never touch it. We never see it. You're actually using ASI just as if you were on iMIS and entering the transaction. So they're very secure. We're going to cover that again. But let's see it in action. We thought about, when do we do this at the end? No, we're going to show it right now. So JT needs to pay his dues. And I believe he's already gotten his beautiful dues notice from iMIS. JT?
Yes. So here you can see that I have a beautiful email, like Doug mentioned here, that is going to enable me to just click pay my dues, and it's going to have that link unique to me. So when I do select pay my dues, other than it populating on my other screen, it's going to bring you to this pay now screen. So these are kind of customizable. You can brand it to your organization. It tells you kind of what it's for, tells you the email, the balance, and then obviously gives them the ability to insert their credit card information. So once that is kind of all done, they're able to just pay it easily, and you can see that they have paid it within iMIS instantly.
All right. Pretty darn cool. So that's how quick we can do it. I love that. Let's get into a little bit more of how this all works. By the way, there was a chat question. I'm going to ask this. This is paying an individual invoice in iMIS, right? We wanted to keep this so simple. And we're going to talk about this in a minute. The reason we keep it so simple is privacy was so important to us. What we don't want is, JT, by the way, can forward that link. He can forward to me and say, hey, Doug, I know you got the corporate card, pay my dues. And I can pay his dues. That's great. But for whatever reason, if JT's email got hacked and they clicked on that link and wanted to find out more about JT, you can see we were very cautious about privacy there. And we'll cover that again in a minute. So one of the things you don't see is a whole bunch of options right now to pay. We may add that at a later date, but we wanted to be very, very, very careful about how much data is shown by clicking on that single link. So let's talk about, how does it work? Okay, Jake added this to the finance screen, but really this is an IQA that you're going to install on your iMIS EMS system along with a business object. And when you do that, you can get a beautiful list of every link, of every invoice, of every person that owes you money. So now I can use that in a communication template. I could use that if you use a third-party email or whatever the case. That is your pay via QuickPay link. So Jake made it pretty, but behind that is a link that takes them to what they owe for that given balance. So super easy, super straightforward. All right, what else, right? So it's got to be more, right? Well, Jake is one of these guys. He's always like, he likes to show off his work. So boom, he gives you a beautiful dashboard via our cloud that you can go in and see how is it working for you. And I think this is cool. Love it. And some logs. Now, when we were going through this earlier this week with support, Matthew Dempsey, head of support, said, hey, Jake, I got a real problem with those X's because people are going to call support and go, hey, what does that X mean? Well, that X means it failed. But back to this whole privacy thing, ASI is taking the payment, not us. We don't have a lot of input on why something might fail. Could be an invalid credit card, could be something else. You can log into Global Pay and find out what happened. We don't have any insight. We never even saw the credit card. All we know is ASI gave us a big thumbs down. And so we're going to report back on that. So, but you do have this, right? So you actually know who tried and who failed. So you can reach out to those people and find out what might have gone wrong. All right. We saw this. We actually had it as one of our questions. Is QuickPay safe? Well, we've talked about this over and over again. We're going to actually show it to you here. Remember when you saw this on JT's screen? I wish he'd filled out his payment. Maybe we'll make him do that, but I'm sure he wants to use it for another demo we have later today. Yes, we're using ASI's software. Okay. We don't touch the credit card. The ASI Data Vault's doing it, and therefore it is PCI compliant. That right there is an invisible secure payment frame that ASI is running, not us. So this form is mostly ASI, but specifically that card number, expiration date, CVV, or whatever you want to call it, postal code, those aren't, we can't see them. CSI can't see them. They're not on our web server. Private. We've mentioned this several times. This was such an important decision early on because we started to say, ask ourselves, do we want people seeing if the URL or the link is forwarded, right? So yes, it is very private, right? We can see right now, JT showed us here. Notice his email. I can't say, if I say excuse, I can't even say it. Matthew laughs at me. No matter what, I will say the word wrong. And tomorrow morning support meeting, Matthew's gonna laugh at me. So JT's email's hidden. And you can't see it, right? It's all there. We see what it's for, right? The renewal fees. We see the balance, and we see our organization's information. So all of that is there. Also, you go back one more. Sorry, JT, I forgot. There's the QuickPay link. You change any number in that link above, you change anything and it doesn't work. So you're not going to have some bad person going and saying, ooh, I bet you I can figure out everything out there. Change one number up there, it'll break that link. So every one of those numbers has to be accurate or you're not going to get this form. Sorry about that, JT. All right. What kind of configurations are out there? JT, take us in real quick to the payment screen and let's take a look at what an end user can set up.
Yes. So just want to quickly show in iMIS. This is the page that Jake had configured where you can click the Quick Pay and see all of the Pay Now links that you can use in those communication templates, in texts, chats, anything that we had previously mentioned. But if we go into the CSI Cloud dashboard and we, interesting.
Which one are you in there, JT?
It is hidden for me. So.
Oh, Jake. Yeah. Who you logged in as, by the way?
Brian M.
Oh, Brian M does not have access to it, JT. That's why you were supposed to do it. Oh, unbelievable.
Yes.
Okay, so much for showing you the configure. Yep, your chat's up there. Don't do that. Now we got to hide that from the recording. Great. Well, so much for that.
Yes.
It is live. Okay, there you go. So JT, I'd have you log in as yourself to 7, but we'll do that later. So
yes.
There are lots of, let's go to your payment page. We're doing it live, folks. Thanks, Aaron. JT, there you go. So you can see right here, we've put our logo on. You have the ability to do your logo. You have the ability to fill out information above the secure payment form and below the secure payment form. We've just put pay now in there. We wanted to be very direct about this. We want your money, but all of that is stylable. There we go. Wow, look at that, JT. While I stalled.
Yes. So you would be able to pick the display name, customize your logo, there's that content block information that you can also customize and then pick your branding colors, things like that. So this is kind of what it looks like. And then in here, here's where you can download your business object and your IQA sample.
Not bad, JT. Very impressive. All right. There, I saw this question before. The next one. How much is iMIS QuickPay? Well, you know, if you know about the gift we're about to tell you about later on, the iMIS Experience Plus, my friend Melissa always says we won the iMIS Rise App Challenge because we used the F word in our demo, and that was free. QuickPay is not free, but we want you to have this. We want you to have it now. So we have an introductory price of $1,200 for the year. I'm pretty sure you will get your money back on that in the first month. No, we're not going to guarantee that, but we've purposely made this about $100 a month, USD for anybody else on here. I know we got some of our friends from up north, but it is USD. And so it is $1,200 for the year for QuickPay. And you're probably like, this is great. You know, what's it take? Does it take 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever? No. Provided it's workday, we can, and provided you pay for it, you can be up and running in 24 to 48 hours, going ahead and selecting these. So if you're about to send out your next dues notice or anything like that, you may want to wait until you have this turned on, but you're not going to be one of them. There was a question about second year moving forward. That's a very good question. We want to see what ASI comes out with, right? If they come out with something and you don't need this anymore, hey, that's okay, right? But we think we're going to continue to improve this and make it better, but we don't have a plan right now for a second year. I don't see it going up. Once again, one of the things with CSI is, and we've taken this slide out to be just well aware of your time, and we appreciate it. Making a difference to your members and donors, to your organization. As I always say to everyone here, we don't have any bad customers. All of our customers do noble things. And the more we help you, the happier we are. So we've made this extremely low priced because we want to get this out there right now. We don't have any budget or whatever. So I don't see us cranking up the price next year. But you know, I can't say. Okay, let's recap the requirements, right? Got a bunch of people excited about it. Want to recap the requirements. Okay, there's a couple things you got to be on EMS Enterprise. Talked about that. You will need to get the iMIS Pay Central SDK. We're going to talk about how to get that in a minute. You have to have iMIS Pay set up and at least one payment method in iMIS configured to use iMIS Pay. So one of the interesting things about the way the software development kit from ASI works is it goes off payment methods, not payment method sets. So you're going to need one of those out there that has an iMIS Pay gateway. If you've got one of those right now, you can go check it out and you can go check, I've got that. Then you are good to go. How do you get it? Well, you order it. Okay. On our website, CSI Inc. /orders, the quick way to get there. You'll go to our order page and say, I want QuickPay. After you do that, in fact, right after you do that, you're going to email orders@imis.com and you're going to say something like this. Hey, give me the Pay Central SDK, please. And you can even tell them I'm implementing QuickPay by CSI. They told us it's about a 24 to 48 hour turnaround process on that. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping a lot of people ask for that. You're welcome to copy us on that email as well. We're fine with that too. Once we get paid, sorry, that sort of is a requirement. Is it a requirement, JT? Maybe, maybe not. JT is very flexible on some of these things, but once we get that, you can come to one of our onboarding sessions. We expect to do a couple of these every week, at least one, but hopefully 2 or more. You don't have to, it's optional because you can just log into our iMIS cloud. From there, you're going to download that QuickPay business object and the IQA. And then you're going to go and adjust your payment screen, maybe drop a logo on there, add some wordings. You know, I don't know about pay now. That kind of whatever, you know, please pay, whatever. And then you're going to start sending out and start getting paid right now, today. All right. Before we do that, Well, let's go back one. Go back one, JT, before we get to the gift one. Go on back one more. Okay. Real quick here, before we get to the gifts, because some people may already know this. We've already talked about this. I just want to answer a couple ones, and I don't know if Matthew or anybody wants to recap for anybody the Q&A or anything wants to be in there. I haven't had time this time. But remember, the payment's going into iMIS. So if you have a receipt set up to automatically go out of iMIS, that will happen automatically. An open pledge does count as an invoice, Lauren. Thank you very much. And any idea in 2024 this will happen? Well, if you mean this is ready to go right now. The billing invoice generation does have to work. Yes, that is a great question from Melissa. Melissa's like, hey, iMIS has the ability to auto generate dues on the fly. You do need to generate those ahead of time. Just a side note, if you have our data management suite product, we have added the ability to run dues in that. So you can actually have a scheduled job that will automatically do your dues billing every month, every week, every day, whatever you feel like. So we added that. Our big focus here in 2024 is on automation, right? We want to take the malarkey out of your life. I'm going to be quoted on that someday, and it's going to hurt. But we want to really automate as much as we can. So a lot of people found that iMIS Data Management Suite wonderful because they were able to finally do what they couldn't do, not having SQL access. Well, now you've got it. Let's automate. Let's make your life better. Okay. So there we go. Group membership, if it's on a single invoice, it would show as one whole amount. Once again, we're not going to show the anything. Anything else that I've missed here, Matthew, for anything that I'm going to just pick on Matthew because I don't know, I just chose his name. I pick Jake or whatever.
The team is going through many questions. We've gotten several dozen in the Q&A section. There's been a handful that have been in the chat that may have been missed. So if there's any questions that you've had in the chat that haven't been answered, feel free to go ahead and put that in the question and answer. I believe at this point we are working through and have almost all of them answered live.
Wow. Well, so thanks again to the CSI support team and Jake for making time for this as well. Appreciate it. This was our most, we're going to get into the gift right now, but this was our highest attended webinar ever. But before we get into, when does the survey question go? The next one, JT.
Yes. So I'm going to launch a few additional poll questions. To gauge your familiarity with the iMIS Experience Plus add-in.
Jake is also one of the architects of many parts of the iMIS Experience Plus, and Matthew is also part of it. So we have the two architects and developers of the iMIS Experience Plus on here. I didn't know Matthew was going to join, but I thought we would go ahead and first find out if you knew about it.
All right, it looks like the majority of people have answered, so I'll go ahead and share the results, and they are going to surprise you, Doug.
Wow. Yes, JT, I am surprised. I feel good that we are doing this still.
Yes.
That is great. All right. And for those 5% that have stopped using due to an issue, we have corrected a lot of those issues, especially if you're on 2017. All right. Thanks. We got one more question, right?
Yes. For those of you that do use the add-in, what's kind of your favorite feature of it? If you had one or if you like all of them, feel free to select them all.
I even put an option in there for people who had not heard of it.
Yes, I did
so they
see
could
that.
feel like they're, a part of the poll.
All right.
By the way, I'm going to point out that both Matthew and Jake added these features, did these features without being told to do them. They're just like, this kind of annoys me, and they did it. So thanks to both of them.
I'll go ahead, share the results.
All right. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I see 47 people want to hear more about this. So let's tell them what they've won, JT.
Yes.
All right. The iMIS Experience Plus. This is a Chrome or Edge browser extension. Do not ask about Firefox. Jake is on, and it won't be pretty. It is designed to make your iMIS life better. We've added some really nice things to the IQA, and we're going to cover one of them that actually gets fixed with the new release of iMIS rolling out. So that's great. But there's some really nice stuff in the Rise content editing that I personally love, and the new work bar that I think can really make iMIS quicker. It is available today, and it is free. So we're going to use the F word again in our presentation. This is what your IQA looks like today. Jake, just so you know this, you know you don't come on our webinars very well. I always refer to you and I say Jake doesn't like to leave anything alone. He always has to make it pretty. So Jake went and made it pretty, right? He had his little icons and things like that. And I do agree, it looks pretty good, right? I like that. And this are what your filters look like probably today. This is actually going to be fixed by ASI in the next release of iMIS, but today you're probably used to that plus sign. And if you are on 2017, you're still on here, you can still use this. Jake, just like everyone else, got frustrated and kept missing that plus sign and saying inappropriate words. And he works from home and his kids were learning those words and it was just bad. So he turned it into a commit button and you can hit commit. You can't save or do anything else. So change that plus to a commit. Anybody here ever add SQL to an IQA? I think we all do, right? We always like to add SQL. There's some great stuff we add to IQA, some really fun things to make IQAs better. Well, editing that is a pain in the booty. So guess what? Jake added an edit button. You click edit, and now you go edit your SQL down below, and then just hit add again. So no more copying, repasting, deleting, and all that. It's all right there. Okay. In our Rise App Challenge last year, we added the Rise content creation. I love these things. It didn't appear to be as popular as I thought in our poll there, but our Rise content creation. Well, here's what Rise content looks like today. That's fine. I hate that little configure thing. It annoys the you-know-what out of me, okay? So, boom, you turn on our browser extension, and now we have our prettiness up top, right? Got to add that. Jake hated the copies. You know, you had to generate the link. No, now you can just copy those. I love this preview mode. Let's see what the page is going to look like before I publish it. Notice that as I go over each section of content, it highlights so I know what I'm working on. Notice it's much bigger. I can see what the content is called right there. That was not hidden. I've got a nice add content and zone, and my configure link is now turned into a pretty button. I love it. My favorite part though, drag and drop. I finally know where to drop things. Man, I've ruined a lot of pages. I get it all ready to go, and then I just drag a piece of content. I don't know what I've done, so I got to cancel out and start over again. I like that, maybe because I'm old. Okay, the work bar. Did you know there are over 275 different things you can click on iMIS? And did you know sometimes finding stuff can be tricky? And, you know, like just even creating a new IQA can take a couple clicks. So I'd like to say we made life easier, but Matthew did. Matthew, let's see what he did. Okay, we're going to go back here. We're going to jump into our staff site. And notice we've got a nice little button up here that I can also assign to a shortcut key. So I hit work bar, and all 275 items, including my custom stuff, is in here. Notice I can even see where that link is set up to go to. So they're all here. Well, that's fun. I can scroll through, or I can enter something up here. It says iMIS ID. There's lots you can enter. Type IQA. Boom. Create a new IQA. That's how fast you can go start a new IQA. So it's going to be a shift spacebar, new IQA. But gen tables. Are you going and editing gen tables ever? Just type gen, and you're right in the gen table lookup. How about taxes? Anybody having taxes change? Yeah, we have a new year. They're always changing. Just hit tax. You go right to the tax code. No searching for it. How about the actual keyword search that we have built into iMIS? Rather than have two different text boxes, you can just type it in here. If you remember 2017, you can go and pull up an iMIS ID and hit enter, and boom, there it is. I love that. Maybe because I'm old, maybe because I love that. I want to type in the iMIS ID and hit enter. But wait, there's more. How about user credentials? Got someone on the phone? Can you please reset my password? They don't know their iMIS ID. There's 17 Brian M's in your database. Just type in their user name, and you can go right to their user credentials that fast. Can't forget about our meeting people, our events folks, right? They can go ahead and type in their event conference code and go right to the dashboard or the details. So no more going to events and then finding it. Just type in the code and you're right there. And then the ASI documentation is mind-blowing these days. This will also search the ASI documentation for you as well. So everything you need in iMIS is available in one search bar now. So there you go. It's all there. In 3 very cool pieces. So how do you get it? Type iMIS experience in the Google. That's how hard it is. iMIS experience. It's the very top result. Click that and go and add it. Once it's added, you're going to click the toast button. I call it toast button. I don't know what it's called. It looks like a piece of toast to me. So, or an old floppy disk. You do that, you click on iMIS Experience Plus, and from here, you can go ahead and configure it in any way you want. Turn on the IQA editor, turn it off. The Rise page editor. I love this where you can go ahead and set your work bar keyboard shortcut, right? So Control Space Bar is mine. Use it all the time. Finally, we're wrapping it up. JT, I'll let you take it from here.
Yes. So just reviewing some important links. You may know this already, but all of our documentation is public, so you can always go and read about the iMIS QuickPay solution by just simply going to docs.csiinc.com. If you do have a product of ours and you want to collaborate with kind of other users, you can always join our listserv. So we want this to be a collaborative environment where you can bounce ideas off of one another and take advantage of the power of the community. Support is included with our annual subscriptions. So you can always, if you are having any how-to questions or you're running into an error, you can always submit a ticket to support@csiinc.com, and one of our fantastic support members will be in touch to help you through that. And then if you have any questions or want additional information on a specific solution that CSI offers, you can always reach out to sales@csiinc.com for additional information there. With that, I know that there have been a ton of questions and the team's been addressing them as they come through, but want to see if there are any kind of last minute questions.
Thanks, Matthew. I sent the wrong. All right. Well, thank you very much. I hope you guys are excited about this. We are incredibly excited about it. It takes away one of the big things that's been in our way forever. Thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to, making your iMIS life better and your members' lives and donors even better too. So thanks again.
Thank you everyone for joining.